everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing one of my favourite things in combining sort of a grungy background and some vintage images together. Back long ago, about 96 to 2000, when I was sort of really into card making and so on, this type of card or a background was my go-to. I loved sort of that grungy, vintagey type vintage text look, and I notice when it sort of creeps into my journal pages, I just really enjoy that. So it's nice sort of going back and revisiting the past. As much as I love my crazy collages, which you can see on the left hand side, I really like this style as well. So I've just gone in, I gessoed my page, and then I have gone in with some moody paints. So I've got some marine blushing and fuchsia. And then I have used my gloss sprays, and I've sprayed over some, I think, rouge and some fuchsia as well, but I've sprayed some water on it. And the reason I've done that is I just really love, it gives this beautiful like watercolor effect, but when it dries it's permanent. It doesn't change the consistency of the gloss spray, but it makes it wick out, I think, and just makes it look really interesting. So because I've got so much paint and water and everything's very wet on the surface, it means I can do a little bit of sgraffito into it, which is just drawing in with a pencil or an object and scraping some of that paint away. I then sprinkled over some of my black gloss spray as well, and done the same thing, sort of popped some water on it, then I've sponged it off. So you're getting this sort of very muted watercolory effect in the background, which I love because, again, it's done in my favorite medium, which is acrylics, and I don't have to worry too much about, once it's dry, it water activating again, which is why I really struggle with watercolors. Finally, I'm just going in with a white. This is an oil-based crayon that I can draw over the top, and then I'm going in with some black as well, doing some ecemic writing over the top as well. So it's just really chunky, layered, but what I've done is I've repeated those colors. I've repeated it with acrylic paint, I've repeated it with the gloss sprays, and with the pencils that I'm using in the background as well. So to create my image on my page, I'm using one of the Tim Holtz paper dolls. This is one of the portrait dolls, which is slightly larger, which are really great for working in your journal. They just fit in really well. The bottom of the piece is I've sort of extended it up a little bit to fill into my journal a bit better, and that's been done with one of the Dina Wakley collage spikes sheets of paper. Then I've gone in and done a little bit of stamping on it using one of my foam stamps. I think this one's from Megan Quinlan. Again, using a lot of the very similar colors I've got in the background. With a lot of my vintage figures like this, I love putting wings on them. There's just something delicate about it. I love the transparency, and this one again was perfect because it had that touch of pink to it as well. So it was just very fortuitous. It all came together. I'm using the pink as well on the leaves just to help pop them out a little bit. Usually I'd use a black, and I am, but I just wanted that little bit touch of pink in the background as well. So you can see the black sort of really just gives that edge to it, and it's not neat. If you look at the close-up at the end, it's very scribbly, but it gives some definition to those stamped leaves, which is really handy. Once I've done that, I'm then playing around with some words to put on my doll. So these are the clipping stickers from Tim Holtz. Basically, someone who's paid probably a lot of money has gone through vintage textbooks and cut out interesting snippets of sentences and words and so on. You could obviously do it yourself, but it is quite convenient, the fact that someone's already done it for us, and you know, we don't have to sit there and cut everything out. So plus it's adhesive and you can just slap it on, which I quite like. The word, the wings, is again one of the Tim Holtz flashcards. In the time it took me to do that, I'd actually lost the wings piece that I'd just made, and to this day I still haven't found it. I must have fallen down and gone down the edge of something, but it disappeared on me, so that's why I changed words and went to do the found. Then going in with my chrome pen and adding some detail with the ruffle lace and the edges, the necklace and so on, just to help balance up that, because the found word has that sort of creamy colour to it. I thought having a balance of that gold would be really nice. The good thing about the transparencies too is you can colour on the back of them with paint pens, and you can see the difference that makes, just having that little bit of gold in the background. Still see the pink over top, but it helps push it out from the background just that little bit more. I also decided that she was going to have this moth crown on her because I just really liked it. I wanted to put it on it somewhere. And then I'm drawing in a crown as well, so she's like the queen of the moths, so the queen of the winged creatures, which I really liked. So it just sort of all fitted together. And you know, one of the things I love about these things is you can have your own little narrative about it. You know, it doesn't need to make sense, but you can tell your own little story as you're making it, and it kind of all ties together, which I really love. They can be as crazy as you want. You don't have to tell anyone about them, but you can have that own little narrative as you're running through. Just with my Stabilo oil pencil, went around and gave a little bit of a shadow to the outside of my figure to push it out from the background. Because they are such similar colours, it's good just to give it a little bit of a push forward. Then to finish it off, I'm just going in with my quote, "We will be lost and found." 1,000 times on this road. There you go. I can read my own writing. Yay! So I'm absolutely adoring these chrome pens. These are from The Life of Colour. It's an Australian company. Lots of companies do chrome mirror type pens. This one is very similar to the Krylon leafing pens, except it's got a bullet tip and it doesn't smell. So I find it a lot easier to use. The Life Colour ones, I know Natalie May sells them in Australia, and they come in a set of 3 and they're fairly reasonable, but they are very, very metallic. It's just such a great way to add a pop of colour into your page. Yeah, so that's the finished go. So it was really nice sort of going back to my vintage roots. I loved using sort of all the Tim Holtz ideology stuff in my journal because I have so much of it. I rarely use it in my journal, so it's nice to be able to combine my past loves and my present loves together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.